Hello everyone and welcome back. Today I'm going to review The Book That Wouldn't Burn by Mark Lawrence. The boy has lived his whole life trapped within a vast library, older than empires and larger than cities. A girl has spent hers in a tiny settlement in the dust, where nightmares stalk and no one goes. The world has never noticed them, and that is about to change. So I was sent a physical ARC. It's my first ARC and it's still my only ARC. So the physical copy is out at the beginning of May. I do still fully plan on buying the hardcover because it is such a gorgeous cover and I want to see what it's like in its final form. Let's start with the prologue. That seems like as good a place as any to start. This one will definitely grab you. It's short. I'm not going to spoil it for you, but that prologue just really caught my attention. It's like, I really need to find out what all this is about. So this story is told through two perspectives. We don't quite switch 50-50, I don't think. I did feel like Levira had a few more point of view chapters than ever. I wasn't counting though, so I'm not sure if I'm right. So our first point of view is Levira. We meet her when she is 9 years old, and I do have to admit, I didn't realise she was that young at the start. I honestly thought she was older. It wasn't until later on as we moved through her story and timelines and years started adding up and I realised that she was actually a lot younger than I thought. Her life has already been hard when we meet her for the first time. She knows how to survive out in the dust. She is well liked or tolerated within the settlement, and she's either brave or incredibly foolish because when we meet her, she is trying to fight someone twice her own size. She is bright and curious, her sharp mind working to get her out of trouble quite frequently. Throughout her points of view, we did get some time jumps as she grew, but the time jumps never felt jarring. They were just a natural progression of her story. The other point of view chapter is Evar, the boy within the library. As such, his point of view chapters do move much more slowly at the start. He is already well settled within his life. He doesn't have quite so much movement that Levira does. He is in the library with his siblings and two helper robots. He does feel quite isolated from his siblings as though something is missing, and his early chapters are introspective and definitely have a feeling of loneliness about them. I loved the feeling of mystery around his story and trying to figure out how everything was going to tie up together. But other than these two, there are so many well-created characters with their place within the story. From Malar, who jumps in and out of the story with his interactions with Levira, the friends she meets when she's in her classes, and Evar's siblings. There's just such a wealth of different characters to be found. The settings are just brilliantly described. The dust is so vividly created that you can almost feel those grains crunching between your teeth. It's desolate and dry, and well, dust is everywhere. It is definitely a hard landscape to survive in. The city where the library is, we don't spend quite so much time in. I mean, we do visit some locations, spend a little bit of time here and there, but it's not the focus that the library is. And the city does feel well placed and solid within the world. And now the library, you can get a sense of just how vast this place is. The scale of it is huge, and it echoes with its own size as you read through the pages. It's huge and ancient, and ultimately there is this monumentous air of mystery around the place. It's almost a character within itself, and it's there just lurking in the background, and you could almost believe that it is about to wake up. This is Mark Lawrence's longest book to date. My version is over 560 pages long. And honestly, I got so swept up in this that I did not notice the length. The pacing varies throughout the book, but at the start we do have a much slower pace than we are used to from his previous books. There is a lot we need to know about this world, and Levira needs time to grow up before the story can really get started. This time of settling into the world really builds a fuller picture of what is going on around us. It doesn't drag though, we move smoothly through events and the pages just fly past. Once it ramps up though, it just does not let you go. Although I did feel that some events towards the end just happened that little bit too abruptly, especially considering the length of time that we'd spent building up and getting there. There is so much packed into this book, so many themes and ideas explored. Discussions on the nature of information and how it can be adapted to what one person wants the truth to be. You could find 100 books disagreeing with you, and yet within the library that one book that agrees with you is seen as the truth. Censorship, war, perception, how two people can experience the same event and find different truths. It all just fits into this space and this discussion around all the information that's contained within the books. I did have to wonder though about Mark's opinion on shelving books with the spines in, because Livira really did have a few things to say about that. But within this there are so many fantasy references and nods, and when I came across them I just appreciated them all. So the epigraphs, they would not let me go. When you read this, do not ignore the epigraphs. I'm not going to spoil them for you, but they consumed me, and I kept trying to figure out how everything was fitting together, what these epigraphs were showing me. Some of them can pack a severe emotional punch, and once or twice I just had to sit and process what I had just been shown. But watching this come together all at the end, I was not prepared. I thought I was prepared for where we were going, and I was not. This doesn't really end on a cliffhanger, it wraps its own story up quite well. I do think this is going to be a trilogy again though, so we are going to get more, which I am really excited about, but that next book is so far away. So overall, this was stunning, and I was not emotionally ready for where this took me. I honestly think this is Mark's best work yet, and I'm a huge fan of the Book of the Ancestor series, so this has taken the top spot. Also have to give a shout out to Tom Roberts for the absolutely amazing cover, which I cannot wait to see with the proper text on the front. So I highly recommend that you pick this up. It's coming out at the beginning of May. Thanks for watching, and I shall see you all soon.